governments and the government representatives are warning people to be careful with Bitcoin. They claim that Bitcoin is a scam. Some people say that it's a scam. It doesn't have any value at all. What is real value of Bitcoin? Let's talk about this. Is it a huge scheme? Does Bitcoin has any value at all? That's belonging with the questions that I asked myself before I invested the money that I worked really hard to generate in crypto. And here is the answer that I got for you today. In order to answer the question if any asset is scam, if any asset has any value at all, we need to go back to the valuation of assets in our economy, right? How the valuation of any asset appears in our society. Let's take an example of Apple MacBook, for example, or iMac, or this printer, anything. Do you really know how much was the producing cost of this MacBook? Do you think that you are paying the value, like cost of the raw materials only? You are paying premium for this, my dear. You are paying high for brand image, let's say. We can say it's nothing, but it's now we call it fancy word, non-material asset. Like how the valuation of the Apple MacBook happens. One producer comes up and says that it is my own thing and I sell it for this price, though maybe production is 3 times or 100 times less, but that's the price that I want to sell it. And then I, ordinary citizen, think that this price is acceptable for me. I don't care what was the cost of raw materials because there are lots of other things going in there and I have this money and I pay for this, and that's how valuation of asset happens. Why nobody appeals about the fact that a luxury brand such as Gucci, for example, how much do they really need to produce their t-shirt and for how much they sell their t-shirt? Is not is a scam. Why government officials are not very worried about that people can pay for $2 or maybe $5 t-shirt $3,000? Why nobody gets really frustrated, and why the president doesn't come out and warn us to be scared that with the producing cost for this t-shirt was $5? I actually don't know how much is it producing cost for this brand. I'm just taking an example right here. I believe that producing cost is way less than with what we pay in luxury brands, and I understand we're paying for social status and some fancy words to explain our irrational. So now we understand the basis of valuation in our economy. I say I sell something that I own for this price. If you accept it, if there is supply and demand meant, that's how things are evaluated. The second thing, my time, for example, and somebody else's time. We may spend the same time for exact same thing, and we may even deliver exact same outcome, but I may charge you more than other people will charge you, and that's okay. That's how I value my time, and that's how other people value their time, and you will pay the same for same service, absolutely different the price, and that's fine too. And then what is the case with Bitcoin? Why are it so cautious, the government? What is difference with Bitcoin, right? Let's go one step further right now and look at the money. How is actually money itself made, and what is real money, the real value of US dollar? Actually, there is no value other than piece of paper, which is really cheap to produce, and the replicable. Don't forget, replicable. Federal Reserve can replicate this paper anytime, and then they come and tell you this is the mean of exchange, this is our money, this has this value. Same sheet of paper can have value of $1 or $200 and $500, and it has value because we accept it. Money, the piece of paper itself, does not have any value other than the fact that we all accept this. The same thing happens with Bitcoin. Lots of people accept the value of Bitcoin. There is demand, there is supply, and that's how the price of Bitcoin is generated. How can it be a scam? Well, nobody argues that right now the crypto market is pretty volatile market. It means that prices goes up and goes down in significant amounts quite fast. It's really dangerous to invest in this kind of asset. But talking about being dangerous, I really want to display here purchasing power of US dollar over past years and purchasing power of Bitcoin over the past years for comparison. Explain a lot about current situation, and I think this also explains why governments are too careful about this, and also the biggest problem why this purchasing power of US dollar is going down year by year, I believe, is highly correlated with money supply. Well, government is kind of tricking us right now. In 1971, Nixon came out of nowhere and declared without consulting with mainstream, I believe, that money would not be backed with that gold. Until that age, people choose that money was backed with gold. Why? Because gold was limited in supply. Suddenly, government, out of nothing, decided that money would not be backed with gold, so it will be poor paper. And since that, the purchasing power of that piece of shit is decreasing. Is it a trap for us, for citizens? Is it the way that governments steal our money because our money costs less and less every year? We did not sign up for this. We did not sign up money. The initial idea of money was that it should be limited, so its value, the purchasing power, should be somehow fixed. That was the initial idea of the gold. That was why our money was linked to the gold. That was what we signed for. And government, without consulting with people, came up with new, nothing-backed paper money, which is every year devaluating. So I had to work 3 times, 4 times as much because my money over years costs 2 times, 3 times as less. Is it a trap? This is how government steals money, and maybe this is why people got to the point that understand that we need limited supply of money in order to avoid this kind of inflation. And lots of people believe so. That is why they buy Bitcoin, because they think that we don't need intermediary head of some institution who may or may not be literate enough to make decision that affects all of us' lives. So one institution, which is national bank head, who is, I don't know who is it, makes decisions that affects my life without even consulting with me. That's not the society that we all sign up for, and that's what we probably realize slow by slow. That's what at least people in cryptosphere believe, and that's what I think governments are scared about, because we are not full enough. We just realize there is a trap that can really collapse really soon, sooner than later. To answer the initial question, crypto cannot be scam because Bitcoin does not steal anybody's money. Scam is the scheme where somebody set up something in order to deceive you and take away money from you. But this is just like an asset that millions of people trade, millions of people agree on the price. And it can devaluate or evaluate, but that's how also fiat currencies, USD, Euro, and others work. They usually devaluate too. They are not fixed in price anyways. And Bitcoin price is increasing because it has limited supply. So anything has value that people agree that it has value. If we agree that Bitcoin has value, then it has value. It is our society. It's not head of national bank society. It's not the society that one person decides for everybody. We want freedom, we want transparency, we want a system that is not governed by one person that increase risk of human failure. We need to decrease the risk of human failure that can affect to all of us. That's it. That's my answer to the question if Bitcoin is scam or not. I certainly believe in blockchain technology, in future of blockchain. I'm not sure will it be Bitcoin or other coin, but for sure there won't be anymore this unlimited printing of money in place in the future.